Hello, fabulous Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of June 2016, General Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This month, we've got the preparation, sort of the landscape being readied for some big changes coming up next month. Next month, we are going to have a new moon in your sign, which marks a personal new year for you. And of course, I'll be here to talk about it then. But this month has some very strong wisdom playing out as well. And it's mainly about getting you honest about what lies under the surface, and also helping you to see where it is that some deeper changes, some deeper alignments are set to take place for you, that you know you're ready to make some changes, or at the very least to clear space for something new and more better to enter. And in some ways, it is going to feel as if you're clearing that space. You're having faith that something's going to enter, but you don't see it entirely just yet. And that space right there is where faith is emphasized and where faith is strengthened. So we've got a new moon happening early in the month in the sign just before yours. And not long after, we're going to have Neptune stand still in the sky and go retro, start to go backwards. So this particular new moon is being characterized by what astrologers are calling the mutable grand square. And what that means essentially is that there are going to be power players in the sky setting up a conversation that can be defined as one of tension, that can be defined as one of motivation. In fact, I'd encourage you to tap into that part of that vibration right there. It is one of motivation, but it is one also that feels like you know something needs to change, but you're not sure what needs to. You can feel that things are in flux, particularly for you, and feeling like there's an element of closure there, particularly for you. There's flux, there's closures, there's endings, and not really sure how you're supposed to feel about it all. And yet it is motivating you to bring forward your best. It is motivating you to flow with the changes and to harness your own power as you decide what it is that is going to fill that space being created now. So this new moon is taking place, and it is happening with the sun, and it is happening across the sky from Saturn, and on either side we've got Jupiter and Neptune. So these are not small players by any means. These are big players in the sky. The changes that take place now, the insights, the realizations, as much as it's mutable, right? So it's not like an energy that feels certain, and it feels very fluctuating. And yet there is a sense of consequence. There is a sense of reality check. There's a sense of really looking at where it is that you are and all the different forces, particularly those unconscious forces that have brought you here. And this is valuable because it is part of making a conscious decision, a conscious choice as to what it is that you are now readying to begin again. It's part of you understanding who you are not as you get ready to claim next month who it is that you truly are. So we have this new moon happening. Lots is said to come up from under the surface. Be mindful of your dreams. They're going to be especially vivid right about now, especially early in the month. And then, as I said, we're going to have Neptune stand still and go retro. And the thing is, on the one hand, that means that Neptune is going to be effectively standing still in the sky as it is communicating with this particular configuration, making it a particularly dominant energy in this bond, in this configuration. And it's an energy of the sea, right? Neptune is god of the seas, but it's also an energy that is about illusions and delusions. It's about faith, and it's also about allowing yourself to be carried in a direction of hope and fantasy when you don't necessarily want to recognize what maybe isn't working so well, where maybe it is that you believe something that isn't really serving where it is that you know you're meant to go, or you believe something that you knew on some level deep within you was not the way that things actually are. And there's nothing wrong with hope, right? And especially if you learn something from it, there's nothing wrong from it. But with this sense of heightenedness around believing what you want, and at the same time the universe not letting you get away with it, forms the bedrock for some powerful closures, and some of them are going to be downright karmic. Now, I'll talk about that as we move into the love-focused horoscope, because that will play a part of this. And also the fact that I love for you is that Venus is going to move into your sign around the middle of the month, and that will add so much faith and confidence and softness and love to your approach, which tells me that you're going to do just fine, and I'll talk more about that in the love-focused horoscope as well. But whatever it is that arises, know that the roots run deep, and the work that you do now, the clearing that takes place now, is actually something that works very well for the strength that you're gearing up to tap into as you prepare to launch some brand new things just weeks down the road. I do always want to be straightforward with you as well. I just want you to be a little mindful as I look at this, because this new moon is happening in a very secretive part of the sky, because there is so much like energy that's like, oh, I really believed in this person, this situation. I believed that things were going to turn out this way, and I can't believe they're turning out this other way instead. Because there is some of that energy there, I would just advise you to, of course, tap into this energy more consciously in terms of listening to your dreams, listening to your intuition. They will point the way in powerful ways. But also recognize that whatever it is that transpires, it is valuable, and it is part of you tapping into what ultimately is going to allow you to create an amazing future and allow you to start something that resonates as really honest and really right for you, in a way that maybe you've sort of been going along. If you've been in that space where you've been going along with certain situations, particularly workplace situations, as I look at this, if you've been going along in any kind of situation like that, this is where you're going to get that reality check that makes you realize, okay, wow, this is where I've allowed myself to go. This really is not who I want to be in the world, what I want to do, the kind of people I want to be around. And that's valuable, because that is going to help you to understand what you do want to do and who you really are. That's going to allow you to plant a seed coming up just a few weeks later that will allow you to build an incredible future for yourself and incredible opportunities for yourself as well. As we move towards the later part of the month, we are going to have a full moon take place. Now, this full moon is a rare second of two full moons that take place in the same sign. The first happened last month, and now you have this one again, and this is happening in a part of the sky for you that has to do with work, the workplace, as I said. So it is going to be the workplace that is an area that is certainly capturing attention all around. But having this full moon here, and also the fact that this full moon is speaking in supreme harmony with Uranus, and Uranus is right now at the very top of your sky. So what this says to me is that this is where the payoff comes. So where it is earlier in the month, where it might have felt like there was confusion, for some of you, there might even feel like there's a little bit of not honesty, maybe even deception as well, whether it's intended or not. There might be a small percentage of you out there who experience something like that. It's never fun, right? It's never easy. And yet, it lends itself to these wonderful turn of events that start to take place before the month is even out. And so you start to see the possibility, you start to see the prospects, and you start to see new directions open up for you. In fact, of all the signs out there that I think is likely to get that lucky break, especially where it comes to the work that you do, the workplace you find yourself in, and making advancements on a level of career, you are one of them that is right at the top. So you've got lots of lucky energy, lots of ability to turn it around for the better energy that kicks in before the month is even over. And it's that ends up redefining you. We need to have these experiences sometimes. We need to have all these different emotions. As you know, you're here to learn about yourself from the power of your emotion. And a part of your sacred learning in this lifetime has to do with separating emotion and fear from intuition, which is a different thing, which has an emotional element to it. But where is it that fear is and intuition is, and where is it that the two can be confused sometimes? That's part of your sacred learning. And as you go along in that learning over the course of this lifetime, you're able to better understand, to heal and release those fears, and you're better able to utilize your intuition to your advantage in every area of life. This month takes you leaps forward in that journey, leaps forward in that process, and helps you to tap in powerfully to what you know to be true, to what it is that is coming up for you to understand, and to tap into that knowledge powerfully to set the stage for big breakthroughs happening before the month is out, and a real feeling that your life is beginning brand new once we get you just a few weeks down the road.